Good morning. Let's continue now. Place and Practice Collective Voices from Ellis House. It's a group exhibition that celebrates the power of collective art making Johannesburg's urban topography. Now, it features an array of works by Phumzile Buthelezi, Lehlohonolo Masoabi, Senzeni Marasela, Cassius Khumalo, Belmiro Jemusse, as well as obviously just looking at the works coming to the fore, they Place and Practice. It really just explores the intricate relationship between artistic practice and urban placemaking through a diverse range of mediums. And one of the contributing artists, Senzeni Marasela, joins us. Perhaps just wanted to chat a little bit more about artworks in the exhibition and the creative journey at large. And so on that note, Senzeni, good morning, and thank you for joining us at this hour.
Morning. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We are very happy to have you, and also just congrats on this. I think beyond what was produced, the important conversations that are evoked and the emotions that come through are so important. You're looking at historical gaps, but you're also looking at figures that have often been overlooked.
Yes.
They are unsung heroes in our society. Tell us a little bit more about that development.
Yes, the show Place and Practice, I think it just came about because we are artists at Ellis House in Lehlohonolo. And we were trying to really create a community where we can support each other and support each other's career, and also place ourselves in the context of other art makers in the country and in the world as well. So we then approached Tsegofatso Sioka, who is the head curator at UNISA Art Gallery, to really put up this exhibition and begin conversations about what it means to support each other as artists working in Johannesburg, because it's a very competitive space for artists to be in, and especially when you are an independent artist like most of us are in that space. What is the model of supporting each other in practice? And when you say support, I mean, you all have different vantage points, a different creative process. You're using different textiles as well, different mediums to express all of that. And so that comes with challenges, but it also comes with possibilities, right? And so could you tell us a little bit more about incorporating those different forms in the work? I think the conversations are more or less similar. A lot of us, interested in the stories around Johannesburg, interested in histories of this country, interested in what shapes us. And of course, artists need to be part of the conversations, about what is going on in the country. And I've noted that the national dialogue is going on. Saw a couple of artists in there. I think it's fantastic that it's happening at that level. We have to consistently be part of dialogues about how we can change Johannesburg, number one, because I think the other artists on the show think we are in a terrific city that has a lot of possibilities and that is always changing. I think that's the beauty of being in Johannesburg and in the world.
It's that global city, obviously, where the moving, hustle, bustle, right? There are different energies, different people colliding, different stories, history, narratives. And what would your own personal narrative have done for your own work that would have come? I mean, you spoke about common themes, but how would your own personal journey have been incorporated?
My work, because I'm a multidisciplinary artist, moves between performance work. To using residues of performances, because I'm interested in how Black women occupy the city, historically that is. And also how they've been excluded from the history of Johannesburg, the written history of Johannesburg, and also telling stories about Johannesburg.
Sure. Are you able to give us one instance or one story that stands out for you in particular?
Besides Winnie Mandela, the story of Winnie Mandela, because I also work through literature as an artist. Njabulo Ndebele's work, The Cry of Winnie Mandela, has had a lasting impact in how I think and I shape my own work. It's a book that is written about 4 women that wait for their husbands in various ways, and because of the trauma, they end up having an imaginary conversation with Winnie Mandela about conditions of waiting, because Winnie waited very publicly for 27 years. Waited for many things besides Nelson. For change,
for agency.
For agency. For change of the social order, for the end of apartheid, for recognition.
Absolutely, and the struggle still continues, right? We're in Women's Month, and so when we even fast track to what's happening now, it's evident that yes, there have been strides, but economically, women are the backbone of our society, but to your point, don't get the recognition oftentimes and have to bear the load, right? Even just the way families are constructed and what that means, having to always occupy a nurturing role. Personally, when it comes to beadwork, when it comes to identity, when it comes to culture as well, I mean, how is that also incorporated in some of the narratives and themes that are explored?
I mean, I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and I work through mediums like Ijali, as you notice, because the Ijali becomes important, I think, in the lives of black women, because we use it for so many things. And it also gives us a particular identity, and it puts us in a position within our society. So in the body of work that is at UNISA, I was looking quite specifically at the history of mining in this country. Okay. And how we are not included as black women in the history of mining, but we've suffered mostly from it. Yeah. Because we are the ones who were left with children, you know, who were left as caregivers, who at times were also left to be providers in those families where those men came to the mines and many never returned home, or went on to have other lives.
And it's also sad to note that today we observe the Marikana massacre, and that's also a case in point if we look at the families and the children that have left behind. And so it's important to see how your art continues the storytelling process, right? And when it comes to the biggest challenges and inertias that you have to overcome for yourself, whether it's resources, whether it's just support as well, whether it's your creative block, what's been the biggest thing to date for this exhibition for you?
I think here we've supported each other as artists. I think that's what's important. We had to enter a particular conversation about how we were going to put this show together. And all of us are artists in this group exhibition that have more than 10 years of work and deal with various ways of telling stories, you know, about being in the country or being in Johannesburg. Phumzile is a multimedia. Phumzile Buthelezi is a multimedia artist who also goes through many social issues in her work, and she uses mixed media as well. To Belmiro Jemusse, who deals with issues of immigration, issues of alienation, as well as Lehlohonolo Masoabi, and to an extent Cassius Khumalo as well. So the work that you see are is really a very rich response, you know, that has taken a lot of research from all of us that are in it to get to the point where we are and to make the kind of comments that we do about the societies that we live in.
How did it heal you as well?
You know, I think every time my work gets seen and the work of other artists, and I believe in collectives now in my career, because I've worked for more than 20 years as an artist. I believe that artists need other artists and artists need communities. And we are at a place where we should collaborate a lot more as artists. You know, and I think also in the absence of support, of government support, and also business support, because we are constantly explaining what we do for a living and why we do it full time, you know, because and this is also against people who think that art should be a hobby. You know, this is something that you do on the side, and you say, no, this is full time, this is what I do, this is my passion. Think of me as a musician who works full time, who goes on stage, who performs. This is what I also do as an artist. To go to galleries, museums, biennales, occupy platforms, research, join academia,
fight for the plight of artists in the country as well.
Yes, fight for the plight of artists. Yes, I have to be. And all artists.
Yes. And I mean, to your point about Johannesburg being Igoli, city of gold, but also with fire we test the gold. And so it's interesting to see that interplay, right? Love to hate, but also hate to love certain aspects of it. Senzeni, I'm going to leave the conversation there. Thank you for your work and for your vulnerability as well.
Thank you for having me here.
for being part of the necessary conversations that we need to have, but also just celebrating the city, this eclectic city, of course, where so many cultures collide. Senzeni Marasela, cultural custodian, historian, a researcher, of course, speaking about places and practice collective voices from Ellis House, showcasing that exhibition along with many, many other artists. And thank you to her for joining us at this hour. As we continue to with our chats, and we'll welcome your thoughts, of course, we were just reflecting on what's happened this week. We saw the first day of the National Dialogue kicked off today. Steering committee is also going to come into effect. We have conversations about Marikana as well, given the plight of what's transpired for those families who remain 13 years on. We are asking you to interact with us and really just share your thoughts on the first day of the National Dialogue at Morning Live SABC. You can keep the conversation going, and then also WhatsApp line, the 078